time at all. Today we're actually making a Dover sole fillet with a crispy spinach and some truffle with a nice Dijon sauce, so with a little bit of olive oil.
This is your special dish for supermodels on the run.
Actually, yes and no. Basically, the Dover sole for sure.
Okay.
The spinach, yes, if it's blanched or i.e. steamed. But today we're actually deep frying it. So this, I would say, supermodel, yes, a little bit, but not too much.
But not too much.
But actually what we're doing today to make it a little bit healthier, we're deep frying it in olive oil. We're not using just sunflower oil, we're using olive oil.
Olive oil is actually good for you, right? I mean,
olive oil is good for you, has a lot of vitamins.
good for your skin, good for your hair.
And it's called the Mediterranean diet. It actually helps your blood vessels to stay free and you have less risk of a heart attack than with normal oil.
That's
so
good.
it's quite good for you. What we have here, we chopped earlier on, some Dover sole fillet. Then we need some lemons, we need some rosemary, we need some spinach.
Wait a second, this is fresh rosemary? No, this is truffles.
No, that's truffle.
Okay, this
that's
is the rosemary.
rosemary.
So you use fresh rosemary.
Smell that.
Smells good.
Great, huh? And we use some Chinese spinach and we have salt and pepper. We have some Dijon mustard, olive oil, and we have something. When I told my producer what we want to do, I think he was looking a little bit, are you sure? Because the price is slightly expensive, because I just opened 1500 baht. And we have some truffle.
I love truffle.
And these are
This is so
nice winter truffles, black winter truffles. You have white one, summer truffle, but this is fantastic.
You put a little bit in any dish and immediately it changes the whole dish and makes
the whole
it special.
thing. Here we put our oil, and I may ask you to do that.
I would do
So
that.
olive oil, and just fill the whole bottle inside. It's not a problem.
The whole thing?
The whole thing. Or just leave a little bit because we can do our dressing with that in a minute.
Olive oil is good stuff. I actually use it on my hair.
Is it good? Just leave a tiny little bit. Yeah, that's good enough. That's enough. We close it for a moment because it actually shows us when it's ready to heat. So no problem at all. So oil in here getting hot. If you don't have that, all you would need a little pot, fill it with oil around a centimeter, and you need a little spatula like that to take later on the spinach out of the oil without burning you. And of course the most ingredient,
When you're doing deep fried stuff, you need kitchen
towel,
towels.
because we actually don't want the oil later on our food.
Okay.
So the only thing we have prepared already on this dish, we washed our spinach underwater and we dried it with kitchen towel. What we have here is just some water, added some salt, and we have a steamer. But what we also do is, quickly, we can do that now, is making the dressing, so later on we don't have to work so hard anymore. So all we need is lemons.
Could you use limes?
You could. I mean, anything citrusy would work.
This is the dressing we're making for the fish?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. What we need to this is rosemary. And we're making basically a little oil ourselves. And in this case, what we don't want the inside. So what we need to peel the rosemary.
Rosemary is usually used with lamb and
Lamb, beef.
I've never actually tried it.
Out basically. You know, you could put that in a pestle and mortar, and you could basically mash it up.
Chop it.
Relatively fine. So look at that. Very easy.
So you add that to the lemon juice?
Correct.
Could you use a food processor?
You certainly could, but then you have one danger, that it becomes a puree.
Mushy.
Yep. What we also need here, oil.
Smells good.
Smells good, really fresh, really different.
Olive oil?
Olive oil. So normally we say a few tablespoons, but we have it in the wrist. That looks good, a little bit more. Also we need salt and pepper and the mustard. So these ones are great for at home, the grinders.
Yeah, I have these at home. So how much pepper?
I always cook how I feel.
I like a lot of pepper.
Me too. So you got me there.
I think that's
This
good.
looks
We can
good.
always add some more later.
Perfect. And we
What
need,
else do you need? Mustard.
the mustard. And roughly
So
a
you just
tablespoon.
squeeze in
Correct.
a tablespoon.
And we bring it together. So it's like a dressing, but you see the olive oil, and it's very
Wow, it
liquid.
looks good.
You see, this is what we want. All the mustard is basically like a nice liquid. We shouldn't forget, we put our fish in, just basically lay them inside.
So we don't need to put anything on the fish?
Nothing, because basically you could salt and pepper it now, but we try not to. And this one is where I said the health factor comes in. Steaming is always the best way of preserving the taste and the vitamins. And we let it steam around 5 to maximum 10 minutes. After 5 minutes we check it.
Okay.
While we do that and we have our marinade ready, we need 2 more things. First of all, our spinach. And it's very easy. You can do that 2-3 times if you want. The one thing is, now you see the leaf is green. Later on it's very, very dark green. So we put that in here. You see that? It's a little bit like French fries. That's why I thought I'd take you in. And it actually falls nice in. All I'm doing now is closing for 1 minute. Okay. Because that's as long as it takes. And while it does that, I need one more thing. Because as I told you, we're trying to cook healthy. We are taking the kitchen towel to later on drain off all the excess fat. Let's just have a look in the steamer for a second. Just look, the color has changed. You see, it's starting to get white.
Very quick, huh?
Very, very, very quick.
It smells really, really good.
And I'm giving you another tip. If you would have a second steaming pot, you could actually put the spinach underneath. So basically, you wouldn't need the deep fryer, and then it's extremely healthy.
Oh, it's turning dark green.
Okay, I'm coming right up. Let me just check this. You see, it's getting really crispy. So you see, on the top you have 1 or 2 what is not completely done. You see that?
Turn them around.
How that crisps?
Wow.
You can actually, you see, it's very hard. So not a problem. They're good. I do 1 more batch. Look at that.
It's good.
You can certainly taste. At the moment it tastes a little bit plain.
Need some salt.
Yeah, we need definitely some salt. It's a little bit like a crisp. So we just put a little bit as like a base. So then we use a little bit of salt only. Because don't forget, with the dressing,
it's actually quite salty.
Yeah. And what we need here is a spatula. So I'm just taking 1 out first. And we're placing that on the top. Be careful, it's hot. Take another.
This fish is from which country?
This one is actually a Dover sole, but in this case it is actually a sole what originates or comes here from Thailand.
Okay, so
most Dover soles are coming England or Scotland, these kind of things.
This is actually Thai?
This is Thai.
Oh, I never knew they had that.
Then we're using a little bit of the dressing, not too much. So you see how it changes automatically. And we get a little bit of truffle over it. I think the last 2 pieces we shouldn't waste.
No. Wow.
And off we go. And I would say a little bit of pepper just to get our axis going. What do you think about that?
Looks so good.
No problem. So Dover sole with a crunchy spinach, with some truffles, and with a rosemary oil and some Dijon mustard. There's more way of cooking healthy, Ross.
Absolutely.
We did a fantastic meal cooked in olive oil.
Right.
And olive oil is one of the healthiest oils you can use, is that correct?
Absolutely. It's mostly unsaturated and it's non-animal and it's just perhaps one of the purest oils you can use to cook with.
It's actually part of the Mediterranean diet and it really let you lose a few pounds. So I cooked that with another supermodel, Kun Luket, and this was a great episode. Did you see Kun Luket?
I did. I think even better is that episode must have forced her hand because now she's getting married. She must have run straight away from you.
Yeah, she was single and she still did this episode and now I think she's married. So I hope I didn't force her to go.
Maybe your show's a lucky thing. Everybody gets married after they appear on your show.
Anybody who's still single, please appear on Cooking for Fun. I'm sure we find you somebody.